We recording? We recording? We recording? We recording? We recording? Hello, this is journal number 10, which I suppose makes it a special one, even though every day blends into the other day and the tides of time never stop tiding, and no, it's not that depressing. I woke up, it's the 8th of the month, December 8th, 2023. I woke up decent energy levels and went to bed relatively early last night, but breakfast sort of upset my tummy. My tummy hurt, and so the bright and early start with energy that I would have gotten was a little delayed because of that. I didn't have enough time to like pre-game the gym that I would have liked, but nonetheless, I went to the gym because I had time to before class today. It was chest day, which is always nice, but there's still not a whole lot of motivation on my part, and it is my part. Um, Plus I was a little weak this morning. And I did have food in my body and whatnot, but normally I'm benching 65 plus pounds on incline, which might not be a whole lot, but for like 8 to 10 reps for 2 good sets, 65 pounds plus with dumbbells, that is. I should mention that. Not on the barbell. I can do more on the barbell. I promise. I promise. But yeah, chest. I don't know. It only takes me like 30 minutes these days, which is fine because I'm doing like. I think I did 10 sets today, which that's good enough. But I don't know. There's just something lacking with the motivation. Tomorrow, I'm gonna go with my friends, so maybe that'll help. Normally, it doesn't help, and so I do have a hard time with like. A lot of times, my friends want to go to the gym with me, especially now that we're headed into winter break, and a few of them are coming back home. But I have a tough time with it. I like being alone at the gym. Don't get me wrong, having people with you every now and then is good, but I definitely prefer being alone. And there are also better gym partners than other gym partners. But that's that. So yeah, had class, and pre-lecture I was talking to the professor about Venezuela's situation, and he was like, yeah, I think Biden should say stop or we'll invade, which is interesting. He claimed to be a hardliner on it, and I don't think me revealing his position on it is any sort of what's the word? I don't think I'm exposing them by saying that. If you could bear with me, I'm gonna blow my nose. I'm a bit under the weather right now. Nonetheless, the main lecture is talking about peacekeeping, and we were talking about Rwanda in specific from the 90s, the Rwandan genocide. It's just like, it's meh to me because, the UN, the United States, we want to help countries with their problems, but we have a certain idea of how to help and what is help. And so, that to me is the takeaway here. Rwanda was a pretty fucked up situation, so I'm not sure what we could have done. The UN, that is, the West. But, yeah, it's just tricky. To me, like, the whole idea of peacekeeping just says something. I don't know, it's worked sometimes, but just silliness. After that, I go to my girlfriend's work because it just opened up, and I wanted to go see her, and she waited my table, and that was nice. I did since I was eating alone, I wrote a little notes for the football, otherwise known as soccer podcast, that I'm doing with one of my friends. It's called the Football Philosophy Podcast on Spotify if you want to check it out. Shameless plug, shameless plug, shameless plug. But yeah, wrote a little notes for that, and I wrote a little part of my essay for one of my final essays for one of my classes. So I come home, I chill, and I vibe, and then it's time to... I chilled and I vibed, but I felt like I did something else. Oh yeah, I was working on the logo for the podcast. I'm not that good at Photoshop, and that is something that I am semi-insecure about, is like not being super artistic. I think I'm good with the writing, but other than that, nah. Anyways, we recorded the podcast. It went pretty well. I'm excited to keep trying to, push that out and turn one of my passions into something productive, maybe something that can give some people some joy and maybe somewhat of a football education. I think I do know more than the average American. It's okay for me to say that, right? After that, I go to Applebee's with my cousin. Applebee's is actually pretty solid. It's a little overpriced nowadays. I have to blow my nose again. I'm so sorry. I hope you're not too disturbed. So we always have good talks, and I love talking with my cousin. Talking a lot of philosophy, talking Dostoevsky and Kierkegaard, and like thinking about how guys like that were religious. It's definitely an interesting discussion. Talking politics and some other stuff as well. Also just day to day. So that was nice. I had some chicken pasta. We had some loaded waffle fries as an appetizer. It still sounds good. It was a few hours ago, so I'll probably eat something else later. That does remind me. I weighed myself, and I'm close to 190 pounds right now. I definitely don't look 190 pounds, but I don't know. That's a little disturbing. I don't know. Maybe it'll be good to try and lose 10, 15 pounds. I'm probably around 5'7", maybe touching 5'8". So like, to be 190, I think that's just not good. No matter like, even if a lot of it is muscle, not to say that I'm jacked at all, but there definitely is some muscle on my body. Anyways, come back, keep writing for my essay. I definitely was procrastinating a little bit, which I'll get to in just a second. But we're writing about capitalism and its interactions with democracy and opponents of capitalism, and why it interacts with democracy in a bad way. Talking about feminism and sort of how that interacts with democracy and some other things. I gotta do it again. I'm sorry. I've never been a good nose blower. My grandma always told me to like keep blowing my nose, and I was like, I'm done. She's like, no, you're not. It's like, how do you know? You're not inside my body. Anyways, so I'm writing for that. I'm about a third of the way done, and it's due 6 days from now. Since today's pretty much over, that means it's done. Due in 5 days. I think I should finish it tomorrow. I should have time to finish it tomorrow if I don't procrastinate. I have the outline, so it's more like, it's not like I'm clueless, but so that's good. As long as you have sort of this idea of a schedule or a plan for an assignment, anything along those lines, I think you're good in shape, as long as you understand the time that's necessary to execute the plan. And like that's why I'm not fretting too much about finals, is because it's all out in front of me. I'm not catching up on anything, and I have a rough idea of the time that I need for the papers, and it's more than enough. Now, I obviously can't let the more than enough notion make me too comfortable. In fact, I'll probably end up like procrastinating by staying up late tonight, get me too comfortable. But like, nonetheless, the point is that I personally feel like if you have a plan and you understand the time that it takes and you adhere to both of those things, you should be good, you know. And you can also have different types of like variations of the plan. Say you need to turn in a high quality thing, well, then you should probably, you know, give a little uptick to the time that's required. But, you know, I try to think that way so that my thoughts are a little more organized. So yeah, probably rambled on about that topic too much, but while I'm writing, this is a big news for me, and it'll be the title. So hopefully I reeled you guys in for what, like almost 12 minutes. But Carti dropped a music video, Playboy Carti, that is. Now he's probably like a top 3 artist of mine. I love his music, and I have for years, ever since the self-titled era. You know, I'm not a new gen. I've been around. Even since Fetty to some degree. But Cardi season's approach, that's pretty cool. The main thing that I was thinking about though is like, my intuition was like, I want to post this to my main public Instagram story. But I stopped myself. It's like, what are your, if you're a fan of something that even just some people think is cringe, I don't know, why let it get in your way, obviously. But I don't know, there's just some interesting thoughts at play there. I obviously you probably just saw me do that. I didn't really duck out of the frame too well, but anyways, lost my train of thought. I don't know. I probably don't need to ramble on about it. The point is I'm excited, and that adds a bright spot to my day. And like, what else really matters? So, with all that being said, today was pretty good. I would give it like maybe like an 8.2, and I've got a sneaky suspicion that that's my highest rating so far, which is good. Are we in an upward trajectory? Am I delusional? Am I, you know, whatever. Yeah. For the rest of the night, I might write a little more, try and finish this section that I'm working on, and maybe play some FIFA. I've got a few things to do tomorrow. In fact, fair few things to do tomorrow. So, yeah.